Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome back to Let's Talk Oculus, episode 61. I am Dan, and I'm joined by Michael Myers. Hold on. No, it's Samson. Happy Halloween.
Oh yes. Here I am, the great 61. Roger Maris's number there for home runs in a season. But yeah, great happy Halloween, everybody who won't be listening to this on Halloween.
It's Halloween at the time of recording, and a baseball reference. You into your baseball? I didn't know
that. Vaguely. I mean, yeah,
the big stat.
That's the big one, yeah. And it's also a Seinfeld reference because it's referenced in Seinfeld.
Fair enough.
I believe. So yeah.
Fair enough. So in today's episode, it's going to be all about the Quest Pro. I have it in my hands. Let me just hold it up to the camera here. I have this
Wow.
baby in the hands. Look at it.
Look at it reflect.
Whoa. Yeah, for the video watchers, you can see it. We're going to talk about the Quest Pro a lot. I've been playing it for a good 2 days, so not that much, but enough to give like an initial impressions and such. So
I mean, that should be enough time. You should be fully fledged. You got it all. You know everything.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like I'm maybe 2 more days away, and we've got the idea. But we'll go through all that. It'll be a lot of talking by me, I guess, in this episode. But before we begin, Let's Talk Oculus is available every single Wednesday on all good podcast platforms and some rubbish ones as well. You can watch us on YouTube and join us on the Discord with our ever-growing community where we will hang out in VR almost every single week. And you know what's next week, Samson? It's Among Us week. And
oh yes.
And if you're not in the Discord, join our Discord if you want to play some Among Us from next week till maybe the end of time.
Week? I think we're planning to play on the 16th. I think that's what we said.
I think it comes out on the 11th.
Yeah, it comes out. Yeah, but then we get the weekend, and then that following Wednesday after release.
We might have a bonus game on the weekend.
Potentially,
we might have a bonus game on the Thursday. Who knows? Who knows? But join the Discord if you want to join in any multiplayer games and big screen hangouts. Now, like I said, I have the Quest Pro. I'm probably going to talk quite a lot in this episode. Let's begin with Samson. Samson, how are you doing? How was your week in VR? What happened?
I almost feel like we need like every sentence I take should have like 8 and 10 of your sentences just to keep balancing throughout. It's gonna be a short segment here. I played some Puzzling Places again. Curious if you tried that one out. I guess
I did.
They had a free Halloween puzzle drop. It was pretty fun. I actually recorded that one in mixed reality too. Came out pretty good, I think, but I forgot that I was recording in headset for the phone portrait mode. So that was fun. It actually ended up fitting pretty well over the mixed reality more than the square. So happy mistake, I guess.
I thought it looked pretty good, to be honest. And we'll talk about Puzzling Places in a moment, but I'm now appreciative of your 100-piece puzzle. I was like, 100 pieces, that's probably like not that hard. You get a 100-piece puzzle out of box, and it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
This 100-piece puzzle, I started with 100-piece, and I was like, nope.
Yes, you need edges. Yeah. Well, basically, you just have to like make small parts of it, and then eventually
put it together.
Like a 2D puzzle, you do the outside first, and then you sort of like make the pieces inside. Whereas this one, I look for things that are all the similar color, and then go out from there. Yeah.
It's a different technique for sure.
Exactly. And then actually Eric for President reached out, and the Pop 1 has sandbox beta mode going. And so come on down to our Discord or check out his Discord. They're trying to get as many players into that as they can. And that's about it for me.
Hey, have you done the Pop 1 beta, or is it not?
Nah, I got it might have began. I've gotten a few emails. I've been busy, it's been Halloween weekend. Yeah.
And you're gone.
I tried to get to a Best Buy. I drove all the way to Best Buy.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then the guy needed more training. So
I remember you saying that last week
yeah,
or a couple of weeks ago, and it's like,
yeah.
yeah, never mind. It's a shame, but it's okay. I mean, at least I have it, and we can talk about it. But I was gonna say just before I get into it, tell everyone what your Halloween costume was. I'll put a picture up on the
Oh,
video.
thank you. Yeah, yeah. So me, a couple friends, we were I was a grandma and they were the big bad wolf and Little Red Riding Hood.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was the grandma. I also people thought I was from Big Mama's house. People say, "Are you this?" I just say yes because that means my costume is good
Yeah, just
for
say yes.
whatever they're seeing. So yeah, as long as they don't ask what are you, you just agree. Just go
No,
with it.
yeah.
Um
It's a pretty good
but
grammar. I'm not gonna lie. You got
it was
everything. You
it's
got
pretty good.
the big hump. The it's like
Oh,
a
I had what great curves you have, grandma. Yes.
yeah. It's like a classic '60s grammar right there.
Yeah, I shoved a few balloons up top, down below,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah.
How was
Yeah, that wasn't natural. Yeah.
did you go to a house party looking like that
Yeah,
or
my friend had a little barbecue, yeah.
nice. Very good. Very good. All right. Let's move on to the Meta Quest Pro. So I have a lot of thoughts, Samson. I have a lot of thoughts. So please stop me and ask me any questions that you may have. Um,
All right.
but just let's just start off with the actual unboxing experience of the headset. As soon as I took the headset out the box, it is heavy. It feels very, very premium, and it's scary to hold sometimes because you don't want to drop it or anything like that. Because everything, even though it's plastic, everything is solid all the way across. There's no like flimsiness or anything like that. There's a little bit of elasticating in the strap, but that's about it. Everything's like a solid piece. I mean, the strap doesn't even like go up or down. It doesn't do
Mm,
that. It just only goes horizontal.
how high up can you drop it from? Let's just see.
Yeah, let me do the drop test live here on the camera. um, yeah, very premium feeling headset. The front of it's a fingerprint magnet, but it looks really nice, so it's kind of worth it in a way. And they do give you a nice little cleaning cloth to
Oh,
go up
nice.
with the fingerprint magnet. Um, what else? The controller.
Wait,
Okay,
is that cloth for the front or is it for the lenses?
I mean it's probably for the lenses, but
Okay.
you
Okay.
definitely need it for the front like all the time. Because the front gets yeah, it gets pretty bad. But let's just talk about the controller a little bit. These little bad boys are so beautiful. They're like a work
Hmm?
of art. I mean, they are a computer in itself, and we'll get into it more detail in a moment. But um, they do have like an Android chipset in there,
Yeah.
and they have the
It's
three
smarter than the
cameras.
Oculus Go, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for just one of these controllers. It feels nice and heavy. Not like too heavy or anything, but it feels like premium heavy.
Sturdy.
Yeah, it feels sturdy. Not having a ring on there is really nice, and I'll go into that a little bit later. There's nothing that takes advantage of the haptic triggers yet. So there's nothing you
That's
can't
sad.
really. It's sad. Like you're just waiting. I think Walking Dead might do um take advantage of the especially with the chainsaw and such. So we just gotta wait and see for December 1st for that. But at the moment, nothing takes advantage. The vibrations for the controllers are definitely better than the Quest 2, but the Quest 2's
Just like
vibration,
stronger?
yeah,
Or in what
yeah,
way?
and it feels. What was I playing? I can't remember. I think it was Demio with the dice. It feels a little bit more realistic in a way, kind of closer to. I don't know if anyone's got a Nintendo Switch talking, but they has like HT Rumble in there, and you can like feel ice cubes if you have like a there's a game which has ice cubes, and you can feel that
Gotcha.
in the controller, and it's kind of like that. It feels a bit better. But like I said, the Quest 2's haptics are still really good in terms of the vibration anyway, so it's not like a big difference, but it's noticeable when you compare it to.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
the Upload VR really for the guy. One of them focused a lot on the haptics because it's got three different haptic
hmm
feedback areas. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the trigger, the grip trigger, and the actual controller itself. And then you also have a pressure sensor on the left side where it's got like a slant, once again, there's nothing that takes advantage of it, so you can't really test it right now.
You're just applying pressure to nothing.
Kind of like the story of the whole Quest Pro in general, to be honest. There's not much that takes advantage of it, and we'll get into that. Then I can't lift it up on camera, but because it's connected, but then it came with the dock, which is really small. And I love the dock because you kind of, well, I love and hate the dock because it's on your desk and you
Do you
always
prefer
know.
bigger ducks?
I prefer not bigger docks. I prefer less flimsy docks. I like a sterner dock, you know.
I got you.
Um, like you have to get the controllers, the headset, getting the headset in the right position is fairly straightforward because it's a big headset and it, you know, but getting the controllers in the right position to make sure they're charging is a pain sometimes.
Really, they don't
Um,
just like sort of click, not like a click in, but
they
like a.
do they do magnetize, but it's just the way you have to angle them. It took me when I first put them in there, they went in straight away, and I was like, oh, sick, that's nice and easy. But since the first time, it's been
You've
so
had trouble.
I forget. I'm like, how do I actually put this in? I forgot how to like get the right orientation in, and it's not as easy as one would think. It looks like the anchor dock that you can get for Quest 2 is way more easier just to slot in
Gotcha. It's bigger,
because
yeah.
bigger, it's spread out as well. But it is nice to have a dock where, and I am considering getting the anchor dock now for the Quest 2 because it is nice to just have your Quest ready to go every time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times because I cover the hole in the front of the headset where it detects if you're wearing it or not on my Quest 2. It's like covered with a piece
Oh,
of
so
paper and tape.
it's always draining.
So it's always like if I don't turn it off properly in the case, it just drains completely. So it'd be nice to have the dock, to be honest. This made me want to have a dock. And I think with Quest 3, it looks like it's gonna have a dock with the way it's like done, in terms of what the leaks have been. So I'm excited about that for sure. And it came with also some I always love a good unboxing when there's loads of different stuff in there, you know. Gone are the days where you have the iPhone and you
It's
just
fun,
have the
yeah.
phone.
Just
It's like to
yeah.
have everything in it. It's fun to see. So it came with these light blockers. These are for the
Oh, to
podcast
get into
listeners.
VR, yeah.
It's rubber, but the ends of them are magnetized. So all you need to do is put them next to it and it just magnetizes immediately. So it's very easy to put on. There's a few issues with it though. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then finally, it comes with another rubber case which goes over the front of the headset to kind of protect the glossiness, which is nice because it means that I mean, you don't have to buy their carrying case or anything like that. You could put this on.
And you're
Maybe
good.
you would want to cover the lenses as well, to be honest, but there's no lens cover, which is unfortunate. But then you're good. The lens cover is actually a big thing, to be honest, because it's meant to be
Wait,
on a
isn't that there's nothing that goes over the lenses?
no, no, which is a
Wait, does that bit go over the front, not over the lenses?
that bit goes over the front. Yeah, I thought
It
it
doesn't
goes.
fit on the lenses?
No, it's meant to go on the glossy. It's meant to go on the glossiness on the front. I don't know if I got that the right way around. Yeah, it's meant to go on the glossiness in the front.
That's insane.
Yeah, I thought it was meant to be for the lenses because that's what I saw, you know, what I was seeing from all the other people unboxing and such. I was like, oh, okay, lens cover, but it's not. It's for the front cover, which is a shame because you know you're not meant to have sunlight on these lenses like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
big
yeah.
VR
That's what I'm
headset.
saying. Yeah.
And when you have the headset docked all the time on your desk, I mean, especially with me where I have windows everywhere, I got to make sure the
You
curtains closed around it because otherwise, you know, you're gonna ruin the lenses. So it's weird, and this doesn't. You can't have the front cover, the front rubber cover
while you're
on.
playing it. Yeah.
No, while you're on the dock, it doesn't dock.
Oh.
Doesn't dock with it. This is meant to be just for like carrying around.
Yeah,
So
I got you. I
if you
got you.
don't have the official carrying case, like I was planning to take it to the library sometime this week or something, just to see how it will work with a 3 monitor setup, but just in like public Wi-Fi or something.
Okay.
But I will just put this on and just throw it in the
And just take
bag.
it. Yeah.
But yeah, that's another thing. And that's pretty much it. What came in the box. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, no, hold on. So I was always worried because the controller, like, if you need to go out or you want to travel, you don't really want to take the full dock with you. I mean, you would need to because that's the only way. No, you can charge
No, it does. Yeah. Can't
you can charge
you?
the headset with the USB-C on the side, but it's like maybe I don't want to take the whole dock with me. How do you charge the controllers? It
It's
does
one
come
at a
with
time, right?
Yeah, it does come with a cable that will connect to one controller at a time. Not the double dock with the smaller dock where you can get when you buy the controller separately, but just the one cable. So that's kind of nice too. But that was essentially the unboxing. The actual box itself is very similar to the Quest 2, like almost
Yeah, it looks
identical.
identical. Yeah.
It's almost
Jinx.
identical. Yeah, yeah, it's almost identical, but it's nice. Like it was like really nice to actually see it. But now actually using it, so when you put it on for the first time, it's a learning curve from the Quest 2 because it's a completely different style of headset, right? It's a
Oh yeah.
what do you
Like
call
the
the top
Halo.
of the Halo strap, right? But it's not even that. It's just the fact that you can't turn it up or down. It's like just horizontal. So it took me as someone who hasn't used a
See,
Halo strap.
you gotta like unscrew it hot a lot, and then
Yeah,
put
you
it.
gotta
Yeah.
unscrew it a lot at the top. Someone who hasn't used a Halo strap since the PSVR one, it took me a while to kind of find out what the best part was on the head because I think the lower on the head it makes it. A lot of people said they've got headaches, and I
Mm-hmm.
saw VR Oasis.
Somebody's.
Kimberly said that on
Yeah.
the Discord. I saw a lot of people say in Twitter, and I saw VR Oasis's review today, and he said he just kept getting headaches. He couldn't wear it properly for ages. But the higher you put it on your head, the better.
Really.
Yeah, Kimberly said that as well, and I tried that, and I was like, yeah, the higher you put it on your forehead, the better, and you can go on it for a while. It's not as it's
So that's what
uncomfortable.
you've been doing.
Yeah, I just put it on the top. You also have another dial at the top, which is to control the pad where the halo is. That's just to bring the headset
Oh,
closer
okay.
and
Yep.
such for you. You have that on PSVR as well on the bottom. And then the IPD, there's no, you know how on Quest 2 there's three adjustments, click, 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 wheel one,
Yeah.
two,
This
three.
is
This one just slides, and it's kind of slides a little bit too much because you can just knock it a little bit, and then you ruin your IPD a little bit. But this one just
Will it
slides.
tell you what your IPD should be?
Yeah, so that's the eye tracking in it is cool because the eye tracking um, the good thing about eye tracking is that it will tell you how to fit your Quest properly. So when you put it on, it will tell you you should bring it closer, you should adjust it a bit to the left, a bit to the right, and it says on the top with the top wheel, it says turn the top wheel to the left a little bit more, to the right a little bit more, and then it will say, oh, your IPD is a little bit less, so bring it in a little bit more out, and it's nice to do that. Um,
And when it tells you that it's perfect, does it feel perfect?
yeah, yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
that's sadly Bradley said that when it tells him it's perfect, it feels like too far away, and he likes the lenses right up in his face.
interesting. It does. I think it always feels far away from me just because that's just the way the headset is. It's the headset. It's a Halo lens. It fits. It's in front of you a bit, and you can't really bring it too close at all. I think that's by design because I can wear this headset no problem with glasses on, like absolutely no problem, and take it off and such, and it doesn't get close. That's how
Hmm.
much gap there is. Okay.
Wow.
But I guess yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of reviews. I've seen a lot of people talking, and same with me talking right now about it. I think a lot of it comes down to just preference as well and what you're used to. I think you can be quote unquote anal about it and be like all these nitty gritties, but I think you just gotta take it how it is and try and adjust to how it wants you to
Hmm.
fit it, and then you can kind of get the best out of it. But um yeah, it's still even to this day, like it's been 2 days and I've been in it for probably 8 hours maximum for the total of these 2 days, and I still have to make a little bit of adjustments just to get it right or get it feeling right, just because I'm not used to that feeling,
Right.
And then
You got to sleep in it.
I put that's what gamer tag did to me. I went to the washroom with it. And I was like, this looks absolutely fine. But the setup's pretty that's okay. So let me talk about when you actually turn it on, right? When you turn it on and it comes to the setup screen, it's like a new setup screen. Maybe Quest 2 setups like this too now, but I set it up 2 years ago. Um, you immediately notice how sharp the image is compared to the Quest 2. It's like I speak as an iPhone user here. It's like going from a standard iPhone to an OLED iPhone. It's not an OLED front, it's not an
Yeah, the
OLED
LCD
panel,
panels. Yeah.
but the LCD panels on this are so sharp compared to the Quest 2. It's a night and day difference. The text looks crisp.
And
As
it's like backlit in like certain spaces too,
Yeah.
so like that helps too.
Yeah, there's something to do with the micro LEDs
Yeah.
to do that. And yeah, it's as sharp as my MacBook Pro. It's as sharp as my iPhone as well. Like it's sharp. It's really, really nice. And then you notice the color pass through as well because it goes into color pass through as you're doing your Guardian. And I'm like, what, it's just color pass through is an interesting one.
Cool. Yeah.
It's an interesting one, color pass through. So a lot of hate on it online just because it looks grainy and such, and it's right, it looks grainy. It's like the black and white Quest 2, a little bit better, but in color. But the part of it being in color makes a lot of difference. Like I walked around the whole house with just pass through mode, and it felt quite comfortable. I even, like I said, I went to the I went to the washroom, washed my hands. I went
So the
and
depth doesn't bother you.
doesn't bother me at all. No, it feels pretty good. You can walk around with it absolutely fine. I think that's the whole purpose of it. Is it's not meant to be a pass through that you can read your phone through. I mean, you don't have to because the bottom gap is so big that you
Hmm.
you just look down
Right.
and you see the phone. But it's good enough that you can move around and see your objects quite close. So the color pass through, it's one of those things where it's going to get better. Sometimes when I've been playing like puzzling places, especially puzzling places actually, I kind of wish the background was a little bit more sharper, just a tad, just a little bit sharper, because it can sometimes be a little bit distracting when you have the graininess. But then if
If
you
you get a
play
screen too, it gets pretty
if you
like
get a
a
screen,
computer screen or a TV.
you don't
Yes.
want to do it in front of your computer screen. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big no-no. You want to do it in like some open space and such. But playing something like Demio, because you're so immersed in this one little area, you don't even notice the outsides. It's just, you notice it big time in Quest 2 because it's all black and white and it's wavy as hell. But in the Quest Pro, it's not really noticeable if you play something like Demio,
Mm.
which is amazing, by the way.
Mhm.
um, what else would I say for the startup? Oh yeah, okay. This is just me more of a me thing. Having 256 gigabytes is amazing.
Yeah, it's nice, right?
I just went download, 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 download. I downloaded so many games and I still have 186 gig left. And I'm like, this is amazing. I got Medal of
Hey,
Honor on there and such.
don't even have to worry.
Um, so moving on to like first things that I actually played and the apps that I actually jumped into. The first game I actually played was Walkabout Mini Golf just because it was the first one that downloaded. And I didn't expect anything, nothing, right? It's just Walkabout Mini Golf. It's not like they've got like a pass-through update or anything like that. I expect nothing. I went into Tessie's Station. I don't know why. I just
Interesting choice.
I think because Tessie's Station, I am in the minority, think is one of the I like Tessie Station, and I think more because of how visually it looks. I think that's why I like it. It's more of the visuals rather than the actual difficulty of the course. But I went into it because it's because of the visuals, and it's like a night and day difference between the Quest 2 in terms of how this game is. I was like, this
Clarity.
is yeah, it's so sharp. The shadowing is really good. You look at your club and the shadows on your club, it looks much more higher res. They do say it's like I think they said it's like 30% higher res, and you can definitely see that. It makes a big difference. In Tethys Station, obviously you're in space, the blacks are super, super black. Like it's like OLED is what I feel. I mean, I'm no expert, right? But as an average person,
Hmm. Looks good.
it looks very, very good. And I can only it doesn't look as good as a PC VR one. I've not played Walkabout in PC VR, but I've seen like PJ from VR Verdict show me a video of what it looks like in PC VR, and that is a completely different. But that's right because it's a new build. It's a completely different build. It's a PC VR build, has more shaders and all that stuff. But it's just a little bit more crisp and it's just nice.
Hmm.
And also the field of view. The field of view is noticeable. And once again, I'm not a person who would notice that stuff. I need to Google what the hell am I looking for field of view. But
It just
you
feels like you're not
notice
wearing
it.
goggles, or it feels like you're less like you're wearing goggles.
Yeah, I feel like once you get the VR cover fully immerses you, it'll look amazing. But yeah, the field of view is pretty noticeable. You notice it in the Oculus Home as soon as you load it up and you see your home, and it's a new home. I've not been in this one before. They may have updated it on Quest 2 as well, but yeah, you notice just more stuff on the sides, and it's like higher and such. I don't know what the degrees are. I think Quest 2 is around 90,
Yeah, I
93,
think it's at
96.
105 to 110.
Yeah, it's about 10 degrees or so more. And it's noticeable. It's really noticeable. I have not tried a lot in here. I'll go through the games in a second that I've tried, but yeah, as soon as you put it on, you notice it, and you get used to it very quickly, and then you put the Quest 2 on and you,
Hmm.
you notice it again. You're like, it's
Yeah,
a
you're gonna be able to go back.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. After Walkabout Mini Golf, I jumped into Node. Node's a 3D mind map tool. I just wanted to try a productivity app that I didn't have to pay for. Because like there's obviously Gravity Sketch and Painting VR and Vermilion, I think it's called, and such. But you have to pay for all of this stuff. And I was like, I'll just pay 2K Canadian on this. That's it. Like
Hmm.
I'll stick to the free apps. But Node is actually it's a 3D
Does
mind map.
workrooms not work?
Yeah, I did went into
Oh,
workrooms too.
okay,
I'll go
okay.
through that in a sec. But Node was just the next thing that downloaded, and it was a 3D mind map tool where there's like you have shapes and you can write down what's happening and you can link them to different shapes and basically create like a mind map, like you would on a whiteboard, but in your open space. I know it's odd, right? But this is really cool in mixed reality. It's really cool because you walk
It's for
around.
like brainstorming.
It's
What's it
just like
for?
yeah, it's like brainstorming. Yeah. Imagine if you had a
Okay,
whiteboard and
yeah,
you wrote like, I don't know, food ideas and then put stuff off. It's just like that, right? But
gotcha.
it's cool because you have the red and the yellow like circle spheres or cubes and such in midair and all linked to each other, and you can walk around your whole room and it's just in the middle of your
That's
room,
pretty
and
cool. Yeah.
it it's really I think a lot of people get mistaken about what mixed reality is compared to AR. And I think when they think AR, they think, okay, it's going to be everything's crisp and and that's right. But with mixed reality, the whole room doesn't have to be crisp because the virtual objects don't really interact with the room. It's more, you're in this virtual space and you just happen, background happens to be your room, and it's just wicked. You walk around your room, you feel like Tony Stark, like
Mhm.
moving all your nodes around. And I didn't really do a mind map, but I just did loads of just random stuff, and it just looked, it's just really cool. To be honest, everything that you do pass through is fun. It's I think because
Mhm.
it's brand new, it's fun to do and it actually works really well.
And you can see when people come into your room.
Yeah, you can see where people come in the room. Because your headset's got a big gap, you can take your drink, whether it's a bottle, whether it's a pint of beer in a glass, you can drink it absolutely fine. You can eat snacks and such, and there's all sorts that you can kind of do with it. And it's not blurry or black and white like Quest 2 is. So
Even better.
um what else did I do? Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is an interesting one. So then I would hopped into Walking Dead. Okay, and one thing, like a lot of my games, apart from Walkabout,
This is the
did
most VR you played in months.
I know, right? A lot of my games, apart from Walkabout, actually, didn't cross over in terms of the saves or anything like that. They're all from
So you just
scratch.
start over. Yeah.
Yeah, which was a shame. But in Walking Dead, I just jumped into the trial mode and I found out a massive problem, a massive, massive problem. Without okay, so without the light trackers, the light shields or whatever you want to call it, the blinkers on a horse.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not scary anymore.
no, it's not the fact. I was terrified because it's been a while since I played Walking Dead, and I was actually heart beating, terrified when all these zombies coming over. But it was more. I got motion sick very quickly because you could see all your surroundings in the corner of your eye, and I think because all that static, I got motion sick very quickly, and I didn't even move much. I was in one little tiny
Really?
area going left and right, killing the zombies. I wasn't actually moving too far, and I felt like ill.
And you
Um,
didn't get motion sick in Walkabout.
no, didn't get walkabout. No, no, didn't get walk. No, I think more because that's more of a teleportation system, right?
Yeah, you weren't flying around.
Don't Walking Dead, you could get motion sick in general, but I've not really had bad motion sickness with that game ever. Because it has tunneling and everything as you're walking if you want it. And I had tunneling on, but because I could see the
Yeah, you could
sides of
see it was
my
like anchoring you to the real world. Yeah.
so then I tried it, and I tried it today actually, with the side blinkers that they give you. It works much better. It helps, but that the gap at the bottom of the headset is so large. Is it still? I put Medal of Honor on today as well, and Medal of Honor was like, unless you're fully immersed in the action, and a lot of the times Medal of Honor, the best game on VR by miles, is I was fully immersed in it and I didn't get motion sickness, but every time I just was that slight bit of non-immersion, all of a sudden I
Does
see
it bring
see
out?
below
Yeah.
me and I get a little bit sick. So that's a for me is a big problem, and it's one of those things where I think everyone said it. Why have they put these side blinkers in, and why not just put the um full VR
For
headset blinker
productivity?
in? But I don't know, the side blink is like with productivity, it doesn't really add much with the side blink. Like I tried it with workrooms. We'll talk about workrooms in a second, but it doesn't really add much. It's more to reduce the motion sickness from VR games, I would say. And these VR games, they have to be something that's more active, like a Walking Dead, like a Medal of Honor, something that you're moving. Walkabout mini golf, you didn't really get that because you were teleporting and static a little
Hmm.
bit. Okay. Walkabout though had a little bit the headset felt a little bit heavy because you're looking down and the whole headset's down. That's
Weighing. Yeah.
that's one thing,
I
but
feel that in the Quest anyway.
yeah, I think that's just all around anyway. Um, we'll get to workrooms in a second. Puzzling places.
We're just backloading this pod. We're gonna get to. We're gonna.
Well, we're talking about the games at the moment. The next one was Puzzling Places. I did write a list here. Puzzling Places. First of all, I never played it, so I actually bought this one because I knew this is a game that I want to play in general. Because you play it so much, I know Kimberly's into it and such. So it was either that or Cubism, and I was like, I'm gonna go with Puzzling Places first. Um, and first of all, really fun game. I don't know how you do 100 pieces because it was like I 25 pieces. I was struggling in AR or mixed reality rather in this respect. It's wicked, it's fantastic, it's so much fun. It's nice to have all your pieces on the left side and then you just bring it out to the other side of your wall, and because you're aware of where you are in the room, it makes it more fun, I think.
Yeah,
um
I do usually play that one and pass through on the Quest.
yeah, how is it on Quest 2 with the
Everything's just in black and white.
just black and white? Is
Yeah.
it okay? Does it kind of deter you a little bit, or is it all right?
I mean, the thing is, the game you're usually just in like a color world. You're not like, you're just like in a
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
So you're not like really anywhere. So I just
Hmm.
like sit on my couch and then throw the pieces up around, and it's just like I'm just it's
You're
just
so
so I can
focused, right, on the
yeah,
pieces and such.
yeah. I mean, I'm not. It's just so I can see if like somebody comes into the room or the dog does something. Like
Exactly.
it's not really for any particular reason other than it's pretty much the same as using the world that I'm in anyway. So
Yeah. I think that's exactly kind of what Quest Pro is, where it's just a little bit better because it has color and a
yeah,
little bit sharper in terms of what you can see, but only a little bit. And I think that's all it is. It's not like a big jump. I don't know if Quest 3 is going to be a bit of a bigger jump. I don't know. But right now it's not much of a big jump. But it's nice to have the color. It's cool. It is pretty cool. What else is with puzzling places? No, that's it. That's it with puzzling places. Really fun though. I think it's gonna take me a while to get up to 100 player pieces, but 20 is good.
you
25
get.
is good
I
for
mean,
now
it takes me 25 to 35 minutes. So if
to
you
do
don't have the
100
time,
pieces. Wow,
yeah, if you
nice.
don't have the time,
Wow.
and then when I did the Halloween one, I did 50 and it took me about half the time. So I was like, all right, that's just
Hmm.
I was like, all right, 15 minutes for that one, half hour or so for the other, and then I'm a little afraid to try 400.
That's a freaking lot.
Yeah.
that's a that's a lot. But I can see the so those like mixed reality in terms of gaming, and I'm talking a lot about games and such because that's my use case, right? I'm not gonna sit and do work rooms and such for so long, and but we'll talk about that in a moment. But like mostly, I'm in it for the gaming. And I know this is headset's not for gaming, but it's just curious to see what it's like. But the mixed reality stuff is really fun with certain apps. So stuff like I think there's more the relaxing games, the sitting down games, the puzzling places, the cubisms, for example, the Demio, which we'll get into in a moment. But you know, I see pass-through being nice because I can see myself like sitting in bed, pass-throughs on, and I'm kind of doing my pieces or cubism and such, and it feels I think it feels a bit more relaxing than having a full VR headset on and being immersed just before like bed or something. Is That's another thing I was gonna say actually. Um, because of how the headset is, I don't feel tired after playing it for a while.
Because it's
Um,
balanced.
no, I think it's more because I can see everything around me. I'm not so focused or immersed into something. So
Gotcha.
I think because I have all the sides available to me, playing something like Demio, in fact, we'll talk about Demio now. Playing something like Demio, even though I didn't play it for 3 hours. First of all, I don't think it lasts 3 hours in terms of battery life, but I played it for quite a bit until all my characters died. I just played the single
Hmm.
player. And never once like I took the headset off and I never felt tired or anything like that. Where in Quest 2, because you're in the headset, it's getting warm, you know, you're immersed and everything like that. After like an hour and a half of Demio, I'm pretty tired when I take that headset off, and especially after a 3 hour game. But let's talk about Demio actually. I was gonna say this at the end, but let's talk about it, right? Demio is sick. I feel like it's the best AR mixed reality. I keep saying AR because it does say AR mode on it, but mixed reality game on there for certain. But one of the cool things is that I was playing it on my desk that I'm on right now, and when you roll the dice, because you kind of map out your desk, which I'll talk about in a sec.
You roll them on your
But
table.
yeah, it rolls on the table, but then it also falls off the desk, which is actually pretty cool. um, it's
Oh, so it's like falls off of your own desk.
yeah, so it is AR to be fair because it is interacting with the objects in the real world. But it falls off the desk if you like, yeah, if you roll it,
So you have to tell it your desk is there
you do have to
when you
tell it.
set up your room.
So this is the big problem. Okay, there's no depth sensor in this Quest. They pulled it
Yeah.
out last minute, and sadly, Bradley was talking about it and such, and I was like, I don't understand. I don't know why it's even needed. If you can call, you can. There's other ways to do depth. Like there's three cameras on there. One could be a little bit of a telephoto lens. One could be a wide lens and such, and it can understand what the depth is. So I was like, I don't understand why the necessary is, and then I realized. So when you play
Mhm.
something like Demio, it says you have to do a room setup. So you know how you do your Guardian to tell you where your floor is and such. It asks you need to draw your four walls of your room. So you have to draw up where the wall is and put where all the walls are in your room. And then you can just skip and finish it, but then you really want to tell it, okay, where's the desk? Where's the bed? Where's the couch? Where's this? Where's this? You really want to fully map your room to get that AR kind of experience what Demio is trying to do.
Right.
I skipped it. I just did the walls and it had my desk already because of Horizon. So that was kind of nice. So the nice thing about it, it does remember this completely.
From before.
It also always remembers the Guardian. I've never had an issue. I think maybe because it's a new headset. With the Quest 2, sometimes it forgets it and has Guardian issues. I don't think the
Yeah,
Quest
I
2 is
always
like
have to remind.
yeah, I feel like maybe it's just because it's brand new as well. Maybe a year or two down, it might have the same sort of issues, but it's pretty good in remembering everything. So it's nice. It had the desk, and as soon as I pressed play, on Demio, I changed it to AR, like it says, and then all of a sudden the board and the pieces go straight to the desk immediately. Like it puts it on there, and I was like,
That's
oh,
pretty
okay.
cool.
And you can rotate it, and obviously the resolution of the actual game is really good and such. Like I said, it uses AR. So if the dice rolls on the table and then if it comes off the table, it falls off onto
Yeah.
my floor, and it's pretty fun. But now I realize what the depth sensor would be for. So the depth sensor, like on the iPhone, which you have like a LiDAR scanner, ever since this LiDAR scanner's been on the iPhone, when you do an AR thing, it scans the room and knows where exactly everything is immediately, right? Before the LiDAR scanner on the iPhone, you had to like use the cameras. It wasn't exactly perfect or anything like that. But with the LiDAR scanner, it knows it
It
perfectly.
just
And
yeah.
yeah, and I don't think Meta were doing a LiDAR kind of scanner. There's different types of depth sensors that you can do, but whatever they were trying to do, they just didn't put it in. They got rid of it. And it's a real shame because honestly, if that's things like
It was
that,
a
which
big one.
it makes it feel like this is just Gen 1, and it is Gen 1, but it makes it feel like truly Gen 1. Like there's so many things that need to be doing in here, and it will be in
Yeah.
the next 2 years. It will probably have a depth sensor, and then you can do mixed reality or AR properly.
Right.
You know,
All right. Are we moving on from the games? Because I got a question.
you got what was your question? You can
Well,
move.
are
We
we,
can.
are we,
Yeah. That's it. That's it for
okay.
games. I don't think. Hold on. No, I didn't play any. Oh yeah, wait, one more. Golf Plus. I played it just because I wanted to try the tracking behind the head, and it worked like a treat. It worked absolutely
Nice.
great. There was no issues with tracking. Never tried Beat Saber. Did try synthesizers, but I don't never really had an issue with synthesizers anyway. I think because it's always in front of you.
Mm.
Not tried Supernatural yet, but I will. But anyway, Samson just remembered something.
Yeah, I got an email from Supernatural saying my thing's about to renew, so I got to make sure it doesn't renew. Uh, but your Golf Plus gaming leads me right into my question, I guess. So,
Really?
um, do you think the controllers are worth the upgrade?
Um, when the controllers get supported properly for haptics, i.e., Walking Dead may do one day, which I think it will because I think Walking Dead is coming out for the PlayStation VR 2, and I'm for sure that will have haptics. So why not put haptics into this? Is it worth it? That's the question. They're expensive. They're not cheap. They're $300. Do they feel premium? Yes. Will they be supported on Quest 2? Yes, not yet. I know I think Steve from the Discord asked about that. They are not
They'll
supported.
probably be supported with Quest 3 as well.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. So they're not supported at Quest 2 yet, but they will be in November, according to, or so, at the end of November, according to Meta. And that's when you should be able to buy them as well, because you can't buy them separately yet. As far as I'm aware, that may have changed right now, but I've not really looked on the website since. And these cost $300. Mark Zuckerberg has already said that the Quest 3 will cost between three to
Three,
five
yeah.
hundred dollars. So these controllers ain't going to be in it for sure. They It's an interesting one because I don't know if they're worth it. I would really right now I'd really want to buy them, but at the same time I ask myself there's nothing that supports it yet, properly. So why bother? And that's what I would say. I would say they may be worth it one day, but right now they're not. Right now they're not. And if you're thinking, okay, I can buy them, but then they'll be future proof next, they'll be for Quest 3, they'll be able to use them. And yes, Quest 3, you will be able to use these controllers, and these controllers will be better than the Quest 3 controllers. However, the biggest thing in here that you have to pay for is the tracking, right? Is the lack of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the PlayStation VR 2, it has all the haptics, it has haptic triggers and all that, but it still has a massive ass ring, on there. And I think
Right.
that's what you're paying for. And I think Quest 3, if I'm gonna predict it, I think Quest 3's controllers are gonna have trigger haptics anyway. And I think that's the biggest thing for the controllers when it comes to gaming. I think ringless makes it nice for me where I have I mean, you can see on my camera I have a very low roof. I don't know if you can
I
see.
mean, and the tracking where it doesn't have to see it is pretty clutch.
Yeah, so with Medal of Honor, for example, you have to put your controller behind you to get something out your backpack. You
Yeah.
have to do that in quite a lot of these games, actually. And it never loses tracking that way. Golf Plus, as I just said, it doesn't lose tracking ever, which is amazing. And it's clever too. Like I put my hands on all the cameras, and obviously it doesn't know where it is. But you take your hand off one of the cameras, and all of a sudden it knows it's fine. So doesn't matter which camera. Like if two of the cameras are covered, it's still got one camera. I think they're all 360 cameras anyway, so it can figure out where you
Unless you
are.
like playing in the dark.
Unless you're playing in the dark, obviously. But if you're playing in the dark, the Quest headset's not going to work well anyway. Let alone the controllers. But a couple caveats with the controllers though. They do take a little while to sync up, like maybe 10-20 seconds or so, or not 20 seconds, maybe about 5 to 10 seconds. So when you turn them on, it
I have heard
works,
that. Yeah,
but they might be in the wrong position and then it will come in,
they
you
take
know.
a second to find themselves.
Yeah, they take a second to find themselves. I would say longer than a second though. It takes like 5-10 seconds, you know. It's noticeable, but not really a big deal. Only big deal sometimes it loses for some reason. Like I was playing Demio this morning and all of a sudden, because I was getting close to I putting the controller close to my face because I was looking, into the pieces and like picking it
Hmm.
up and such.
Getting
And
close. Yeah.
all of a sudden, my hand just floated off into the distance, and my cards are just in the distance. And even though you could see my controller in the mixed reality, but the hand was like up at the top, and that's
So it
happened.
lost the tracking.
It lost the tracking, yeah, and it took maybe 15 to 20 seconds before it came back.
So it does lose tracking.
Um, yeah, I guess no, it's weird. It lost the tracking in a way, but then at the same time, like it got all the movements and everything correct. So yeah, I guess it did. Yeah, I guess it did lose the tracking. Yeah. So it did lose the tracking. Yeah, you're right. Thinking about it. It happened twice. It happened with Demio, and it also happened when I was doing the the that node game. The
Mm,
with the was it
yeah.
called Node? Yeah,
Node.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
I
the
believe
one
it was
with
called Node.
the 3D map tool, yeah. So it happened with that as well because you could see in mixed reality. It only happened during mixed reality as well. It's never happened in VR, like in the actual VR
Gotcha.
apps. It's
Yeah,
never
yeah, yeah.
happened. But in the mixed reality, I think because
Interesting.
you can see your hand, and if you make some quicker movements, it does lag behind as well. It's not like perfectly one to one, so that could be an issue for people with Gravity Sketch and such, which are, you know, when you've got it in mixed reality, it's not perfect
Yeah, and then yeah.
sometimes. So that could be an issue for sure. Um, but yeah,
All right. Should we move on to some of our listener questions?
um, in a moment, we
All
haven't
right.
spoken about Horizon Workrooms.
Ah, yes, yes,
We
yes,
have
yes,
to
yes.
speak about the that part, right? Okay, so the work stuff. First of all, immersed is complicated as hell to set up. It took me ages and I still can't get it, and I feel like I just need to redo the full tutorial again to get it right. For example, I have the monitors massive, but I don't know how to like resize them better, and then the monitor on the left sometimes twists and I'm like, what's going on? It also lags a lot in immersed compared to Horizon Workrooms. So I think I'm not going to say too much bad things about immersed. A lot of people love it, and I just think I need to figure it out and figure out the right settings for it. But Horizon Workrooms works out the box as you expect it, and it's great. Okay, so you go in, and first of all, with the facial tracking and such, you make your all movements and the facial tracking. A lot of people have done videos on this, but it's like
Hmm.
it doesn't. That's not exciting to me. It's exciting to me once I'm with somebody playing. I mean, I need to hit up Kimberly and ask her if she wants to play. I'll just go in a Horizon Workroom so we can like kind of test this
Just
facial
yeah,
fixture.
yeah,
Because just to see it on someone rather than just to see it on myself
yeah. On
is,
yourself. Yeah.
it's just whatever. The eyes are weird at the moment. My eyes are always squinting, and I think a lot of people have got that little
Well, you are
bug.
you are a big squinter, so you're
I
always
may
trying to look in the
That's
distance.
what I mean. Maybe my eyes are always like that. I was like, are my eyes like that in VR? I don't know.
It's so
Um,
bright. It's so bright in
yeah.
here, guys.
Everyone's saying it's like a bug, but really that's what everyone looks
Yeah.
like in VR. They have no idea. Um, what was I gonna say? Okay, so yeah, so what I did with Horizon Workrooms is I did the three monitor setup, right? And it is sick. It is awesome. There's a long way to go. Like there's no customization. You have your three monitors. There's no way to resize these monitors. If you're using two, it's just one in the middle and one on the left or one on the right. There's no like having one on the left, one on the right, and nothing in the middle. You can't like move them about.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah.
Um, like the monitors in front of me, for example, there's no monitor directly in front of me. They're just slightly off to the sides of each other. But you can't do that. Like there's so many little bits like that where it needs to be done before you go, okay, I want this as your like screen replacement or such. The resolution is really good, but not perfect. And it does throw you off sometimes. I have my like 13-inch MacBook in front of me, and because the hole at the bottom is so big, you can see your monitor down there and you can see how sharp it is compared to the screens that you see. It is nice though, like someone who takes his 13-inch laptop to the library and does like I'm learning to code, for example, and to have 13-inch
The
laptop,
multiple, yeah.
it's like it's small and you have to go to desktops and you've got the tutorial and such that you're watching, then you have to go to a different desktop on your 13-inch to kind of do it. It's pain where with this, it doesn't matter if you have a 13-inch. I have the screen on the left has the full tutorial. Screen in the middle has my Xcode, and I can like code while watching it
Golden.
and such. And it's like this is sick. This is the use case. This is I take this to the library this week and I put it on, and hopefully the lag's not that bad. And it's not that bad in Horizon. There is a bit of a lag, which can be a bit of annoying though. But I think that might be more of my internet than anything. Which also I don't know why you can't just hook this headset to your laptop and have it tethered just to do the Horizon workrooms as an option. It seems so simple
You
to me.
can't?
Not that I've know of. Maybe I need to look into it more, but I
That
feel
seems
like it
odd.
makes sense that I could just plug it in because it's charging anyway. But then it also has Horizon Workrooms tethered and it doesn't need Wi-Fi to kind of
Right.
get the image, so I don't need to stream it. And then the quality should be way better as well. You're just using it as a screen in a way.
Right.
Maybe it's something that's coming. Maybe it's something that maybe I haven't got it right. I need to look into that more, but it makes sense that it should be in there. They could have either easily made this like a bit of a tethered version of the headset if they wanted to. Like it has a wireless version, but you can tether it to.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's sake, like next podcast. Hopefully, by the time we do the next podcast, I've gone to the library and tried it in that workspace and
Hey,
seen
go
how
to the
it goes.
library, would you?
I will go to the library. I want to go to the coffee shop. I won't be that guy.
Sit in
But
a Starbucks.
yeah, F that. But going to the library makes a little bit more sense. But that's where I can see. For me, I'm like, this is exciting for me. Because even if I had a 16-inch laptop, it's still one screen. It's just that having that two screens makes a massive
Yeah, it's
difference to
huge. Yeah.
productivity. And be able to, I work from home, so to be able to just leave my house and still have that proper setup to actually properly learn, that's what I can see. And as soon as I put it on and hooked up the screens, I was like, this is sick. It's not there yet. It's like I feel like the second generation is going to be the one. You
Oh
know,
yeah, hell yeah.
in 2 years, it's going to be like, okay, this is now. I know it's $1,500. I know it's expensive, but if you find use cases,
I mean,
it's
the
well
price will
worth
go
it.
down too. Yeah.
But with this one, it's like you really got to be an early adopter slash like developer to really want this. To be honest, it's very hard to sell to someone who's just an average consumer. It's not even because of the price; it's just because of all the little bits. It's like even if it was $1,000, it's still hard to justify when you have a Quest 2, which can do probably
Most
20%,
of it, yeah.
yeah, 20% less of the stuff that it can do. More than anything. Yeah. So before we go into the questions, I just want to make sure I covered everything. Oh, yeah. So two things real quick. One, obviously the UI still has loads of issues because it's the same bloody one as the Quest 2, which is absolutely fine. But the Quest 2 one sucks too. Like I hate the UI. I've said
Hmm.
this many
Yeah,
times.
yeah, yeah.
The UI sucks. You have all your apps. Like why? One little quick rant. Why I always have to go in, click on my apps, and I always have to press installed because I have a load of crap everywhere, right? Why have I clicked on installed and now every time I lift this headset up, it should be installed, but it's not. It goes straight back to default all the time. It doesn't remain uninstalled.
Oh,
Um,
I got you.
and it's
Weird.
little. Just make a folder so I can put,
Yeah, we definitely need folders, dude.
installed also should be your default anyway because I just want to see what
Oh,
I've
you can
installed.
change you can change it how it defaults.
You can.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I need
because
to
it
look at
goes to
that.
all or it goes to, yeah, you can change how that defaults for sure. At
Okay,
least in the Quest 2, you definitely can.
you'll be able to do it with this one. Okay, I'll have a look at that. But still, UI still sucks. A lot of issues.
Agree.
But and then the last one, real quick, hand tracking is much better, and you can notice it too. I played a chess club in there. I don't think Chess Club was in mixed reality, but Chess Club just felt really nice. And then I also did Unplugged as well. And Unplugged felt really
Oh,
good.
I gotta get back in that.
And
Yeah.
actually, to tell you the truth, the amount of times that I've picked up these controllers are only to play stuff that has to use it. Everything else, like going through the UI and all that, Horizon Workrooms, I'm using my
You do
hands.
hand, really?
Yeah, it just feels much better. It feels easier, it feels natural, and you just pick up the controllers when you need to. Um, and yeah, that's how good the hand tracking is. It's really good. The only thing that's problem with hand tracking and just hand tracking in general is that it needs haptics to make it viable for like gaming, I would say. But for like everything else is, and I kind of wish Demio had hand tracking, but I guess there's too much stuff that it needs to
Yeah,
do
it's a lot. Yeah.
because you need to like pick your cards and I don't know. I feel like I can make it work, but yeah. Anyway, that's everything for me. Yeah, that's everything for me in terms of my initial impressions. That's everything I wrote down. Like I said, that's only a couple days. I'm sure next week or in the next couple weeks I'll have more thoughts on it. But yeah. Anyway, what
Before
are the
long, it'll
Discord
be
questions?
gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not so the cool thing is because I bought it from Amazon and they're in the holiday period, I don't need to return
What do you
this
get
till
extra to like after
January
Christmas?
January 31st. I don't have to return this.
Damn, dude.
So I don't know if I'll keep it till then, but I'll definitely keep it till December at least because I really want to try out Walking Dead in here because I feel like it will have haptics. That's what I'm
Yeah, and I'll
thinking.
probably get
Hope
some
so.
updates too.
And probably get some updates as well for sure. And obviously these controllers are going to work with the Quest 2 by the end of the month. So I want to try that. So there's lots of stuff. I'll keep it probably through till Christmas and then probably get rid of it. And I'm not getting rid of it just because it's $2,000. I'm also getting rid of it because I don't think it's much of a difference to justify keeping it when
Yeah.
I have a Quest 2 and it looks
And in
like
2 months after, you're gonna have PSVR.
yeah, exactly. Even though with the PSVR, I'm kind of getting iffy about it now because it's tethered, and I even realize with the Quest Pro, it being not tethered makes a massive difference to all the experiences in VR. I sometimes forget that because I haven't played it for 3 weeks because I've been away. I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, I was like with the cable, even just one cable, it's a big difference. But anyway, that's later. That's later. But am I keeping it? I think Dave asked that in the Discord. No, I am not keeping it. Um, but it's so nice. It's so premium.
What type of here's Jenna's question here. I assume this is a good segue time. What type of person would get the most enjoyment from the Quest Pro?
Um, people who love
Outside of somebody who's just like rich and likes to show that off.
people who love tech. It is what I think MKBHD says this is the dope tech series he has. This is dope tech. This is it's so cool. It's really cool. The controllers especially are just really really cool. Even just holding them is just in general like you could tell these are premium. It's the Quest 2 is just the Quest Pro rather is just this something about this aura, the way it looks like and such, and the way it feels, and
It looks sleek. It looks cool.
the pancake lenses as well. And it has two headphone jacks, by the way. So we've gone back to Quest 1 days. So you can buy headphones that go through just one and one, which is so much nicer as well. Bring back that for the Quest 3 for sure, I hope. Just so you don't have a cable and such. So I think the people who want it is people who just really like tech, like really like tech. So that buy probably the Samsung folding phone because it's sick. It's sick tech. It might
Is it
not be.
that cool? Is the folding phone that cool? Yeah, we
Honestly,
don't have to get into it.
if Apple had a folding phone like the Flip, I would get the Flip version. I always like I want a smaller phone. I'd get the Flip version. But yeah, I mean that I don't know if the Samsung phone's that good anymore. But it got good because it's got other issues. And I say the same with this. It's like it's got some issues, but it's amazing tech. It's great tech. So that's one person. Other person, maybe developers want it for mixed reality. At the same time, I don't know why you can't use just a Quest 2 for like development anyway. And even if you want to make AR stuff, you don't need this. Your bloody iPhone or decent Android phone has really good AR capabilities as well that you can do testing on. So why buy this headset? It's a tough one. There's not many people. And then if you're a business, why buy this when you probably want something better like a Vario, which is £12,000 or dollars rather, but is way way better and
Right.
way better
In all
clarity.
ways. Yeah.
And if you're using it for like a massive business, then Yeah, there's not many people who have it. I would say it's more of a early adopter tech enthusiasts, but I can see this being obsolete in 2 years. Something else going to be better, maybe.
Um, Bouncing around here, Empire Monkey's question, although I think we sort of answered this one of how do
Mm-hmm.
the standard games look? And based on what you said about Walkabout,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Demia.
say the standard games look a hell of a lot better.
I wouldn't say hell of a lot of better, but noticeably better. Noticeably. It's like the middle ground between PC VR and Quest 2. That's what I would say. And I'm assuming maybe Pico 4 probably looks similar-ish. I don't know. I've never tried that headset, but it's in between PC VR and Quest 2 for sure. But that's another thing for Quest 3. I feel like the Quest 3 is probably going to look like this as well. And to the next one.
Into the next one from Steve, which I also think we've answered about the new controllers. Will they work now out of the box with the Quest 2, or there is a software update required? And I believe there's a software update required that's
Yeah.
coming out
End of
in a
this
couple
month.
months.
Yeah,
Okay.
end of this month. Yeah. They say November. I think he says his daughter wants them for VR chat, and I don't think anything's supported in VR chat at the moment. I would say no, they are
Mhm.
not worth it. It's just one of those things that these will be worth it one day, but right now they're not. So just wait, just wait. There's no rush. You know, they're not gonna sell out or anything like that or anything. Here comes Samson's dog into the camera.
Eh, she won't stop whining. I have to mute
I
and
can't I
yell
can't
at her.
hear it. We can't hear it anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah. I can. It's frustrating. All right. On to Gina from Twitter. Just asked you to play test some social VR. Have you gotten in any?
No, I've not tried social VR yet.
All
No.
right, but you did talk about the FOV, and how that is noticeably better on the Quest Pro.
Quest for
Uh,
it's noticeably better, but once again, you won't buy it because of this FOV is better.
yeah,
You might wait for the Quest 3. You wait for the
exactly.
Quest 3. Yeah.
And then lastly, we have some comments from Kimberly, who says that all the pass-through games are pretty cool. Puzzling places and cubism are quite fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, can't wait to try. I expect you to die. I had to figure out that acronym real quick. And Demio. And the most realistic pass through for her so far was setting up the canvas in Vermilion, which sounds pretty
Nice.
cool.
It
Yeah,
does,
just like a
yeah.
canvas in your own room.
It does. That sounds
Um,
nice. I just didn't want to spend $20, but it looks really nice. I also can't paint to save my life, so it'd be a waste of time.
we got to get in on this new game referral program or whatever.
Hit me up with a Crest Ambassador program. Jeez, I had to pay
No,
money for
no,
this.
there's some sort of referral program where you like buy a game, like you get $5. I don't know. You look into it.
Oh,
Look
okay,
into it.
okay,
It's some
okay,
sort of new program.
okay, okay.
Kimberly goes on to say, I do find I'm having trouble getting used to the headset sitting on my forehead.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a combo of the Elite strap and Halo strap, but not as comfortable as either one. Two different sessions gave her a bit of a headache after an hour, and she can't imagine a much longer session than that. But I do think she said she adjusted it a bit and then said she played for a little longer.
Yeah, so she had an update.
An update, yeah.
She said she used a Quest Pro for walkabout session last night with Jenna and Dave, and from the Discord, join our Discord for walkabout sessions. She had no issue with a headache. She said she put it higher on her head as well. So that's where I got it from too. She said that she put it higher, and I was like, okay, let me try that. And it still feels weird when I put it on. It feels really different.
Because you're just not used to it.
It's
Yeah,
not used to it because it's just resting on the top of my forehead rather than being. It doesn't feel like it's strapped in, and I haven't tried any fitness stuff in there, and I feel like it's going to be a big no-no because it's just going to be wobbly and such. But we'll try supernatural and. Well, I mean synth riders, but synth riders are also bouncing around, so we'll try something more crazy, you know. One thing I was going to say that I forgot to mention, I saw that Dave put the question in there too, was he says, how's the battery life? Um, it runs down quick. I mean, I've got eye tracking and everything on. I don't know if it actually turns itself off. It feels like when I first played it, I was playing like Walkabout and such, it was slowly going down. But I think with Horizon Workrooms, it was going faster. And I think that's probably because it turns it on. Maybe it turns it off at certain cases. Um, you do notice it. It's definitely different. You notice it on the controllers more than anything, I feel. Even though they are still slated for 8 hours, I did have it in the dock not charging by mistake because they were slightly off, one of those things. And I picked them up and they're already like half gone already. And I think it's not the fact that these controllers are bad for battery life. I think it's the fact that the Quest 2 controllers are too they're amazing for battery life.
Yeah, they last like 60 to 80 hours or some shit.
I think I change my controller batteries probably once a month or once every 2 months. Like it's that far and
It
few in
just takes
between.
getting used to put things on a dock or like to charge them up after every use.
Yeah,
If you're
like
not used to that,
for
yeah.
my PS5, for example, that battery in the controller is absolute shite. Like it's awful. Like that controller battery dies immediately. Like
I was wondering that because I do have a PS5 controller I use every once in a while
yeah,
on Steam, and I usually just play with it plugged in.
yeah, for sure. No, I always have the cable plugged into my PS5 every. I don't play the PS5 wired, but then every time
Yeah,
I put it on
you
rest
put it
mode.
away.
I
Yeah,
always put it on charge, so it's always good to go. It lasts like an hour or an hour and a half or something before it's on like one battery it's
that's
like the
pretty bad.
battery life is pretty bad and it has all the haptics and such, probably why. But so these controllers are still better than that. It's just going to take used to that. Hey, these need to be charged, and that's why you have a dock that you can easily charge it all the time. I don't think the battery life is as bad as what people say.
I think I watched Thrill Seeker's review today, and he said without eye tracking and face tracking on, it lasted about 2.5 to 3 hours, very similar to the Quest, about comparable at least. And then
Mm-hmm.
with those on, it lasted about an hour to 90 minutes.
Yeah, and I think with those on, you'd probably have it plugged into your computer while you're working in workrooms or something like that anyway, because
Yeah.
not many apps take advantage of eye tracking and face tracking. Like, why would you need that? I mean, eye tracking is important for foveated rendering. I haven't played Red Matter 2 because I haven't finished the first one, but Red Matter 2 is the only game that takes advantage of foveated rendering. And for people who don't know what foveated rendering is, essentially what that means is it only renders what you can see on screen. So, for example, if you're walking through a hallway, you're not looking behind you. So, behind you is probably all blurry and such because it's not rendered properly, saving all the rendering to be what you can actually see in front of you.
Yeah. It's
Um,
even
and
like more than that. It knows where your pupils are looking, basically. So it's like really fine tuned to where you're looking.
Yeah, so like I saw a video actually where someone was on Red Matter 2 and they were looking at this photo and the photo was like crystal clear, but you could see the door in the top left. He can't see the door because he's looking at the photo, but the door in the top left is blurry. But
Mm,
you wouldn't be able to tell when you're playing it because you're not looking at it, so you won't see it.
right, right,
And it's
right.
very clever and the PS VR 2 does that as well. And that's something that most likely the Quest 3 won't have, um which is something that to talk about when Quest 3 comes out. But yeah, overall, just to like wrap up the podcast and wrap up the thoughts here, overall it's really fun to have. Samson, if you could try it at a Best Buy, just try it just so you can see what it's like, because it is fun, it is a fun tech.
I'll tell
But
you what it's done. It
yeah,
has tanked Meta's stock.
the Meta's having a I don't know why. I'm not sure. I don't really into it too much, but yeah, they're having a nightmare to be honest. When it comes to stock, but they all still keep pumping money and money into this. They're not going away. But
Yeah, and
you know, but it is
yeah.
to wrap up here. It is a dead comfortable headset once you get it right. Once you figure out how to put it on properly. Even though it's way heavier than the Quest 2. It's dead heavy. It's really nice. The thin pancake lenses are beautiful. This is the future of VR in a
Mhm.
very flawed package, I would say. But it's fun to have. It's really fun to have, and honestly, it makes me more excited for the Quest 3 than anything because a lot of these features will be on there. I think. I think minus eye tracking, minus the stuff that it needs for mixed reality in terms of the amount of cameras that it has.
Mhm.
Take away probably seven
It's just not
cameras.
quite there. Yeah.
Yeah, take away 7 cameras, add the ring back onto the controllers, but keep all the haptic stuff. And that's pretty much what I think the Quest 3 would be like.
And the XR3.
And a better
I mean,
graph.
that's the thing. It'll have a better chip. It'll
Yeah.
immediately be able to play better games.
I mean, this the one does have a better chip, but it's just
It's
because
bullshit.
it just adds more RAM. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It adds double the amount of RAM, which allows you to, I guess, put your web browser on whilst you're doing
It
other
makes
stuff.
like the heating and the cooling rather an easier process, I think, is what I heard.
Yes, it does cool well. It does heat up. You can feel it a little bit when you put your hand there and such. Like, but it's not got as hot as what the Quest 2 gets sometimes in the front when you hold it. Um, but yeah, that is the Quest Pro. Um, we will be back next week for more Quest Pro, or whatever we get up to. But I think the next thing I need to try is fitness, and as I keep mentioning, the library.
Mm.
The library.
Yes, yes, yes. And until next time, VR we are.